I'm giving the floor to Ms. Sarah Babaian from Center for Truth and Justice. You have the floor, madam.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear colleagues. It is my great pleasure to address the Assembly of State Parties on behalf of the Center for Truth and Justice and the International Partnership for Human Rights. CFTJ is a US-based international human rights organization documenting atrocity crimes and pursuing accountability for perpetrators of war crimes and human rights violations. Soldiers and civilians were forced to crawl on the floor like animals, slapped, kicked, and beaten on their faces and stomachs with sharp metal rods and heavy weapons. An entire population imprisoned for 9 months in an open cage to starve to death without food, water, electricity, or medicine. Women being tortured and mistreated so badly that death must have felt like a gift. Naked bodies on the streets, eyes gouged and replaced with stones, legs and ears cut off. Hours of inhumane and humiliating treatment in prisons, fearing every second could be their last. Executions and beheadings of POWs and civilians followed with a display of heads on dead pigs. 100,000 people forced to escape immediately, coerced by torture and willful killings to abandon their homes and lands. Ghost towns are the sole remnants. It sounds like a horror movie, but it's not. Imagine that these terrible atrocities are happening right on your doorstep, in your towns, to your fellow citizens. Tragically, we are only talking about the Armenians who have been systematically persecuted and expelled for decades by the Republic of Azerbaijan. This dictatorship disregards orders and judgments of the ICJ and the ECHR and talks about the Armenians as rats and devils. Most importantly, Aliyev openly declares his territorial ambitions, proclaiming, "I said that Armenia is the land of our ancestors. We must return there, we will return, and we are already returning. No one can stop us." Does this sound familiar to you with regard to the Russian aggression in Ukraine? The crimes committed against the Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, as well as within the sovereign territory of Armenia, have been extensively analyzed by numerous organizations, including CFTJ, Freedom House, fact-finding missions, special rapporteurs, and others. The evidence is irrefutable and overwhelming. Since 2021, Azerbaijan has perpetrated war crimes and crimes against humanity, including persecution and deportation. For the crime against humanity, in case it could be considered analogous to the Myanmar-Bangladesh situation, where the ICC just ordered an arrest warrant against Myanmar's president. Our database contains the evidence and a comprehensive legal analysis of alleged crimes already for release. But it is not on us. It is on you, dear delegates, to refer the situation to the Office of the Prosecutor for the initiation of preliminary investigation. It is also incumbent on the distinguished prosecutor Khan to initiate an investigation. With Russia's ongoing war of aggression and its brutal strategy of retribution against those who oppose it, we already have a very clear expectation of what awaits Armenians in the situation of Azerbaijan. That's why we urgently call on you, state parties, to fulfill your obligation by making a collective state referral to the ICC. Only through this referral will impunity be halted and accountability enforced, deterring dictator Aliyev from continuing its Armophobic policies through war crimes and crimes against humanity. If we continue to deliberately close our eyes, there's a significant risk of another war of aggression on Europe's eastern border, which could lead to additional 3 million refugees for Europe to address. Unlike other ongoing conflicts, this one is distinctly foreseeable. Time is now. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.